This is how you can make an invite info command for your discord.js version 14 bot. So let's go ahead and get started. Before I show you how to do this, I'd like to say that if you'd like to get access to the source code from this video or other videos on my channel, you can do so by joining a channel membership on YouTube or a subscription over on Discord. On Discord, if you get the God or custom bot tier, you will get access to that source code. And over on YouTube here, if you get the super God or custom bot tier, you will also get access to that source code. And of course, on both platforms, if you get the custom bot tier, me and my team will code you a personalized custom Discord bot. If any of this is of interest to you, go ahead and click the links in the description below to get started with this, and let's go and get into the video. Alright, so we can start by going over to community, and we can go ahead and create invite info.js. In here we can do const, and we can get our / command builder. We can also get our embed builder, and then we can do equals require, and we can go ahead and get our discord.js package. Then we can do our module.exports here. We can go ahead and open this up. We're going to get data, which is going to be new / command builder. We can go ahead and make a name for the / command, which is going to be invite info, and then we can go ahead and set a description here. This is going to be get info on the invites server. And we can go ahead and add a string option. We're going to do option arrow function option.setName. This is going to be our invites. And we can go ahead and set a description here. We can go ahead and say the invites you want to check. And we can go ahead and set required for that option to true. We can add a comma. We're going to do our async execute. We can go ahead and get our interaction in here. And we can go ahead and open this up. In here, we're going to go ahead and defer a reply. So we can do await interaction.defer a reply. And we can go ahead and get informal. And we're going to go ahead and set that to true. That way, only you can see the message. Then we can do const, and we can go ahead and get our options, and we can set that equal to our interaction. We can also do let input equals, and we can go ahead and get our options that get string. That is going to be our invite. And next, we're going to go ahead and do some logic. So for this to work, we need to filter out the HTTPS or the discord.gg within the invite, and we only need to get the code. So to do that, we can go ahead and check to see if it has it and replace it. So this is actually very simple. So we're going to do input.replace, and we can go ahead and get discord.gg / because there is going to be a / that we need to replace, and then we can do a comma, and then we can just go ahead and do an empty string. So we're going to basically just replace it with nothing. So we're going to have to do this for the other two options that could be in the invite link as well. So we can do input.replace, we can go ahead and get HTTPS, and we can do this, and then we can go ahead and get discord.gg /. So that's going to be the link that comes in front of the invite code. So we have to filter that out, and we can go ahead and add an empty string here. So we're going to replace it with an empty string. Now finally, there are HTTP links, so we're going to go ahead and filter that out as well. So we can do input.replace, we can go ahead and get HTTP, and then we can do the same exact thing. So we're going to filter out everything but the invite code for HTTP links, just like that. So basically what this is doing is if any of this is included, it doesn't matter what order, is going to get replaced out with a string, so that by the end of this logic here, we're just going to be left with the invite code that we end up needing in the end. So we can go ahead and do let invite, and we can do try. So then in here, we need to get our client. So up here, we're going to go ahead and define our client, and then in here, we can go ahead and do invite equals, and we can do await client.fetch invite. We can go ahead and get our input, and we can go ahead and get with counts. We're going to go ahead and set that to true. Then we can go ahead and catch an error here because we have a try, and we can do await interaction.edit reply, and we can go ahead and say content, and we can go ahead and say I couldn't find an invite matching, and we can go ahead and do /tick, and we can go ahead and get our input. So that's going to be the invite code. So now after doing that, we can go ahead and actually write some logic down here. So this is going to be to check whether or not your bot is in the server that the invite is from. Now keep in mind, your bot does not actually have to be in the server to get the information, which is really, really cool, which is why this command is such a good thing to have. But we're going to go ahead and check because this is going to be one of the fields that we have within our embed. So we can do if, and we can say no invite. We can go ahead and return, and then we can do let me equals client.guilds.cache.gets, and we can go ahead and get invite.guild.id. So basically, if there's not an invite, then we can go ahead and return. So then if the invite does exist, then we go ahead and check to see if the bot is in that invite guild. And then if it's not, we're going to go ahead and follow that up by saying if no me, then we can do me equals false. And we can say else me equals true. So obviously, if there's no me, aka the bot is not in that server, then we're going to go ahead and set that to false. And if there is me, aka the bot is in the server, we can go ahead and set that to true. So now we're going to go ahead and write out our embed. So we can do const embed equals new embed builder. And we're going to go ahead and set a color. This is going to be blurple. Now we can go ahead and set a title. And this is going to be our invite.guild.name. We can go ahead and set a thumbnail. This is going to be our invite.guild.icon URL. Now we can go ahead and add fields so we can get our name. For me, I'm going to go ahead and put this emoji in here. It doesn't really matter what one you want to do, but I just like to include emojis because I think it makes it look way better. So we can get server features, and we can go ahead and get our value, and we can go ahead and open this up. We're going to get an arrow, and we can actually make this italicized. So we can get invite.guild.features, and we can do .join, and we can go ahead and open up a string. We're going to do \n, and then we can do an arrow, and then we can do a space, just like that. And then we can actually go ahead and finish that off with the star. So now we're going to go ahead and add fields again. We can go ahead and get our name. In here, I'm going to go ahead and get boosts with a money emoji. And then for our name, we're actually going to go ahead and input the rest of the features in. So we're going to need some ticks. And for the boost here, we can do \tick. We can go ahead and get our invite.guild.premium subscription count. So basically, that's going to go ahead and check to see how many boosts we have. And it's going to go ahead and give us a number there. And then we can go ahead and finish that off. And we're also going to have to set a value, but for me, I'm just going to go ahead and do an empty tick just like that. So then we can go ahead and add fields. We're going to go ahead and get our name. And in here, we're going to go ahead and get a member count. And I'm going to go ahead and put an emoji in there as well. So we can do \tick. We're going to go ahead and open this up. We can get invite.memberCount. And then we can finish that \tick off. We're going to do comma. We can go ahead and get our value. And we can do an empty tick like that. We can go ahead and get some more fields here. So I'm going to get name. For me, this is going to be the server ID, and I'm going to go ahead and get an ID card like that. We can do \tick. We can go ahead and get our invite.guild.id. We can finish that off. We can go ahead and get our value, and that is going to be an empty string. Then we can go ahead and do this again. Now, keep in mind, we're going to go ahead and do this a lot of times because there's a lot of different features that we can put into this. For here, I'm going to go ahead and get a newspaper emoji, and we can do server description. And for this, we're actually going to use the value because we want to put it under. So we can go ahead and italicize this. We can go ahead and open this up. We can go ahead and get invite.guild.description. And because some guilds don't actually have descriptions, we can do a or, and we can go ahead and set that to a string, which is going to be none. So then after that, we can go ahead and add some more fields. We can get our name. For me, this is going to be a lock and key emoji, and I'm going to do vanity invite code. Then after that, we can do \tick, still within the name. We can go ahead and get our invite.guild.vanity URL code, and we can say none, just like we did before, so none in strings with our or operator there. Now, the reason for this is because not a lot of servers have a custom invite or a vanity invite. So if they don't, we can just go ahead and set it to none. So then after that, the final thing we're going to do for our fields is we're going to go ahead and check our me, which is what we got up here. So basically, if the server includes esky. So we can go ahead and get a bot, and we're going to do includes esky. And we can do \tick, and we can go ahead and open this up. I'm going to go ahead and get me. We can do \tick again. We can also go ahead and set value to an empty string, just like that. So then after doing that, we can go ahead and set an image. It's going to be invite.guild.banner URL, and we can go ahead and get our size, which is going to be 2048. So it's going to look pretty big within the embed. Then we can go ahead and set a timestamp, and we're also going to go ahead and set a footer. We can go ahead and open this up. We're going to get text, and we can just get invite information, just so that it looks pretty clean within that embed. So the last thing we actually have to go ahead and do is we can go ahead and send this embed. So we can do await interaction.edit reply, and we can get our embeds. We're going to go ahead and get our embed, and we're also going to go ahead and set informal to true. Technically, we don't need to do it because our defer already has informal, but we're going to do that anyways. All right, so with that, we are actually done with this entire command. Now, the last thing we actually have to do that I forgot to do with the embed here is for the includes esky, we actually have to go and set a value. So we can do value, and we can just do an empty string. That way the bot does not crash. So after doing that, we can actually go ahead and save the file, restart the bot, and test this out. All right, over in the Discord server, we can go ahead and get our invite info command here. So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and get the invite for my server, which is just some random invite that I just generated using the https discord.gg. So we can actually go ahead and send it here, and it is actually going to go ahead and work. It's going to go ahead and filter that out, and it's going to go ahead and give me all of my information, right? So it's going to give me all of the server features. It's going to go ahead and give me the boosts. It's going to go ahead and give me the member count, the server ID, the description, the vanity invite code, and the includes esky. And it's also going to give me the banner and the icon as well. So obviously I did make some mistakes here. I forgot to finish that italicus off, and I forgot to finish off the \tick here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that, and we can go ahead and try this a couple more times. So the other thing you can go ahead and keep in mind here is for the servers that your bot is actually in, your bot is going to be able to get more information on. So you're going to be able to see the members in the server, the bots in the server. You're going to be able to see who owns the server, a bunch more information, but it does still work if your bot is not in the server. For example, I'm going to go ahead and get a pretty well-known server, Community Architects here, and we can go ahead and get invite info, and we can go ahead and paste that link in here. And as you can see here, it's going to go ahead and work still. Now, I want you to keep in mind, my bot is not within the server, but even so, it was still able to get all of this information on the server, like the boost, the member count, the server ID, the description, the invite code. Obviously doesn't include ESCI. It gets the banner, which if we go into the server, it's going to have that banner, and it also has the same exact avatar URL as well. So this is really, really cool. You can pretty much get information on any server, even if your bot is in it. And by the way, you can also get the code and not have a discord.gg in it as well. So for example, if you wanted to just go through and check a bunch of different servers, like we could do Town Hall. I don't think that exists. Oh, yeah, it does. There's a Town Hall. This is some random server, by the way, because I think it's actually Town Hall like that for the invite. For the Discord one, we could also go ahead and get Valorant or something like that. And there's going to be the Valorant server. Now, obviously, ESCI isn't in any of these, but it's going to be able to give me information on this. We can also go ahead and try to get one more. So we can go ahead and get invite info, and we can go ahead and paste the Discord safety link in here. As you can see, it's going to go ahead and give me all of the information on that. So that's how you can make an advanced invite info command for discord.js version 14 bot. If you do need any help with this, go ahead and join the server in the description below and use the help channels, and we'll be happy to help you out. And you might as well just join anyways, because it is a pretty good coding community. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.